Have the Cowboys set Dak up to fail?
I had to think about this one, Sel, and I came to the conclusion that, unfortunately, they have. Last year, going into the season, we all said the Cowboys had the best or one of the best offenses in football. Let's go back a year if we can. Dak Prescott was coming off of injury, so you knew he was going to be back ready to go. Ezekiel Elliott, you know, he was in the best shape of his life. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz. We knew the Dallas Cowboys had a squad along with Michael Gallup, etc. But when you look this year, the Dallas Cowboys have one of the worst offenses in the NFC if you look at skill positions. Let's talk about it.
Let's go.
You look at the Bucs, they still have Chris Godwin. They still have Mike Evans. You look at even the Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert. You look at the Washington Commanders, Jahan Dotson, Scary Terry McLaurin. You look at the Rams, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, along with the running back Cam Akers that's not coming off of an Achilles injury. You look at the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins, along with Hollywood Brown. But then you look at the Cowboys, and all you are left with is very simply Michael Gallup, coming off of an injury, and CeeDee Lamb, along with the Ezekiel Elliott, who we no longer believe in. So I think they're set up for failure because as you stack the Cowboys' offensive roster versus anybody else's offensive roster that's actually a legitimate opponent, a legitimate competitor in the NFC, the Cowboys no longer stack up. And this is the first time in a long time that we can say that about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I haven't even talked about the offensive line, which for so long was what made the Cowboys great from 2014 to 2021 after they were drafting Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. That's what really made the Cowboys great. I haven't even talked about them. They, too, are now going to be more disappointing compared to future Cowboys teams or past Cowboys teams. Dak is set up. I don't know when America will realize it. They might realize it once the season hits and they see that Dak's numbers aren't as good as they typically have been compared to the likes of Stafford, Brady, Murray, amongst others. But this will be a very depressing year in my mind for the Dallas Cowboys offense.
Oh, man, I think Dak is set up to succeed. This is the setup, though. There is a construction that looks different this year than last year, as you stated. I think they're looking at Dak as like, we want more out of you, even though we're going to give you less. But in this situation, less is more. Because the most talented team in the NFL never wins the Super Bowl. All those super teams, Philadelphia had it like 9 different times. How many Super Bowls has a super team ever won? 0. I've never seen everyone go out and begin the season. This is a super team, declare themselves a super team, and win it all.
Wouldn't you say, I would submit that the Rams were the most talented team last year.
The Rams?
Because by the time they got Aaron Donald plus Von Miller plus Jalen Ramsey plus Matthew Stafford.
If you keep adding in December, but I'm saying going into the season.
Yes, sir.
Who said the Rams are going to win it all? We were like, Matthew Stafford going to give him a bump. He should do more than Jared Goff, etc. But there was a huge question mark around that, especially after Arizona waxed them. Everybody was like, what are you doing? Here's the thing. We're talking about this because Drew Pearson spoke on this. Now, I'm not going to undress Drew Pearson because he was a beast. However, in retirement, not so much a beast in terms of how he thinks about his Dallas Cowboys. You want to hear an antonym? You want to hear some antonyms right now? I love antonyms. First of all, synonyms was great, but it showed me antonyms. I was like, oh, my God. Here's a sentence. Drew Pearson says that the talent receiving core was depleted a little bit. Hey, Drew, let me help you out, big dog. What are we saying about this Dallas Cowboys team? They lost Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper didn't even have 1,000 yards for them last year, and Dak Prescott still was 3rd in passer rating. Dak Prescott still led the NFL with the #1 offense. Dak Prescott still had the #1 scoring offense. What a receiver who was in decline by the numbers. Say what you want about Amari Cooper. Oh, he's going against the #1s. He was in decline by the numbers as a Dallas Cowboy. So now that opens up an opportunity for CeeDee Lamb. We're talking about the receiving core. Let's talk about the running game. Yeah, Ezekiel lied to us and said he's in the best shape of his life, and that was going to translate on the field. That didn't happen. But what did happen is an opportunity opens up for Tony Pollard now to be justified in demanding more carries. that may work out better for the Dallas Cowboys. You see how this redesign is working for the Dallas Cowboys? Oh, Zeke, you the man. Well, actually, Pollard's going to be our guy. Oh, Amari Cooper, you the man. Nah, actually, we're going to let CeeDee Lamb go get this. Dak Prescott, we know you steady, Eddie. Since you've been in the league as a fourth-rounder, Romo's backup, you are fourth in quarterback wins. And you told me that that's a quarterback stat. So Dak Prescott's like, dog, why y'all sleeping on me? I have kept this team in contention. No, we haven't won it all, but there have been other greats older than me that took their time to win it all. Why not Dak?
What I don't think we can deny is that the Cowboys this season are worse than the Cowboys last season offensively based off talent.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think
on paper, on dead wood.
Right? Yeah. Like, Ezekiel Elliott is declining year after year, so we have to continue to assume he will decline this year.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper may have only given the Cowboys 900 yards last year, but that is still, in fact, 900 yards.
I like how you round up.
Like, what was it, 898?
I mean, keep going. 865.
Cedrick Wilson, number 4, the fourth receiver for that squad. He was only the fourth receiver, but he was still the fourth receiver. The Cowboys' offense is worse this year than it was last year, at minimum on paper.
Yeah, on paper.
If last year the Dallas Cowboys offense could not get that team where they needed to go, at least one playoff win, then this year, knowing they are worse on paper, I have to surmise that they are, in fact, setting Dak Prescott up for failure because you're not getting better. You know what they say. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're not staying the same. Right. The Dallas Cowboys have gotten worse offensively. But it's not so much the Cowboys that set Dak up for failure. It's Dak Prescott's pocketbook that set him up for failure. Because, as you know, the more Dak Prescott makes, the less money everybody else can make. What was most mind-blowing to me was realizing Dak Prescott will make this season, I believe, more money. He made more last season than the entire Cowboys Super Bowl roster made back in 93 and 95 amongst
this
others.
Inflation for real.
Crazy.
I love it.
So if Dak Prescott is commanding all of this money, they just can't pay everybody else. You can't afford to keep Amari Cooper. You can't afford to keep all of these other high-priced receivers, high-priced offensive linemen, et cetera, because Dak is commanding so much money. So it's not the Cowboys that set Dak up for failure. It's Dak Prescott's bank account that is setting him up for failure on the field.
And that bank account was active last year, you said. And it was. What did he make, $75 million?
75.
He made $75 million one year. But he also went 10-2 in the NFC, best record in that conference. But that bank account was still active. And he also went 6-0 in that division. And they won those games average 40-17. But that bank account was active. You know, it's funny about the Dallas Cowboys. People be praying for their downfall. Just because they're so polarizing, I get award a star. People love you or they love to hate you. In this situation, you ever been somewhere where on paper, they're not anticipating the greatness that you know you have in you? So on paper, it happened to me thousands of times, whether it's like, where you from? Go to Columbia. And then they like, oh, where you from? Oh. You play football? Oh, I had the double whammy before. I was like, no, meet me, know me. I'm going to get a 2.8 here. I'm going to be fine. But the point is, sometimes you judge a book by its cover. You got to read the content. The Patriots were never the most talented team. And Tom Brady, early in his career, was commanding top dollar. And then when Wes Welker and that situation, that dynamic changed it all, he started to say, let me take some haircuts. But people forget Tom Brady was making that dough for a while there, and they were still winning championships. So now I'm looking at Dallas Cowboys like maybe the book looks different, but the content's going to be even greater, a better read. I just know when I was a backup, and I'm not going to slight Bruce Smith because he's thousands of times better than me, but I went out there and I actually helped the defensive end position in production. His last year in Buffalo, 7 sacks. My first year starting after he left, 10.5 sacks. On paper, you thought we got worse. You look up, we got better at that position alone. All I'm saying is maybe that's going to be contagious with these Dallas Cowboys. Opportunity is going to present itself to guys who are going to now overachieve.
But, Sel, you can be set up for failure and still not fail. And to me, that is Tom Brady.
Okay.
I think about one of my favorite movies of all time, Gladiator. One of my favorite scenes of all time was the final scene in Gladiator, Final Scenes. If you all recall, Emperor stabs Gladiator under his shield, his padding, if you will, with a knife.
In his vest? He missed the vest? Damn it.
Remember, Gladiator was set up for failure because he was dying while still beating the Emperor. So he was set up for failure, but he still did not fail. When you speak of Tom Brady, I would argue, yes, Tom Brady was set up for failure several times. If you look at those offenses they gave him, Chris Hogan being a number 2 or number 3 receiver. If you look at the offenses they gave him, he was set up for failure, but he's never failed.
Well, he's
Rarely failed.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Let me not say never.
Yeah.
When I look at Dak Prescott, he too is set up for failure, but even when he's been set up for success, he hasn't succeeded to the highest level. We sleep on this, and this is what's so mind-blowing to me. Y'all do remember the Cowboys in 2016 were set to win the Super Bowl. Tony Romo in the 16 games prior, I believe, was 14-2 as a starter. The reason the Cowboys drafted so high in 2016 was because Tony Romo got hurt in 2015. But in 2015, Tony Romo started 3-1.
Yeah, they were rolling.
So they were rolling. Dak Prescott walked into an offense that was set to go to the Super Bowl. Went 13-3, did all that he could do, went to the playoffs amongst other things. But we have to remember, Dak Prescott was set up for success. That's what success looked like. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, a young Ezekiel Elliott, Jason Witten, Dez Bryant, Cole Beasley. That's what success looks like. This Cowboys team on offense, this ain't what success looks like.
Really?
Dog. Because if I compare that roster of 2016 to this roster, it's totally different. And mind you, the competition has gotten better in the NFC.
Oh, it's gotten better on paper. I'll give you that. But they have to get better on paper. The Cowboys were 6-0, won 40-17 average games in their division. So y'all get better. Y'all need to. Make it 40-20, make it 40-30, make it 35-30. But we have to go down, and y'all have to come up. I respect that. But I look at the Cowboys like this. You're saying last year we saw Dak Prescott make $75 million. Yes, he did. But they still went 10-2, 6-0 in division, and they still had the number 1 offense, and that's with Zeke declining. Number 1 offense with Zeke declining. Number 1 offense with Amari Cooper going out there for 800 yards. Wait a minute. Let's dust ourselves off. Dak, you're going to be the same. And this offseason, you get to work on your whole body, your whole game, because it's not rehab. CeeDee Lamb, no one's in front of you now. Go get it. And you were going to get it last year, but you were the number 2. And I understand in part that could be easier because you're going against the number 2 cornerback. But go get it. And Pollard, we ain't going to get in your way anymore. We're going to let you go get it as well because I think the whole world has recognized that Ezekiel Elliott has something to prove. You imagine that quick remix and dust off of the Dallas Cowboys that were already the number 1 offense? To me, that's set up for success. I don't think that the Cowboys were really set up to win in 2016 for this one reason. Youth is wasted on the young. So in this situation, Dak Prescott's a rookie, but you got everything around you, but you are a rookie. And you're not a rookie that could take this and run with it. You're a 4th-round Romo backup rookie that all of a sudden you blink and they say, the world is yours. And you're like, what world? This world? All of this? And it just took him time, even though he had an amazing season. That season came to an end in part because of Ezekiel Elliott in the playoffs. That season came to an end in part because they didn't keep their same formula for success.
But don't you think, I would submit, and it's unfortunate, I think Dak squandered his best opportunity, meaning Russell Wilson, we know his best opportunity. It was his first 4 years in Seattle.
Yeah.
Because that was when you had Sherm, you had Earl Thomas, you had Cam Chancellor, you had beasts on defense, and you still had enough dogs on offense. Marshawn Lynch was still hungry. Yeah. Russ went to 2 Super Bowls, and he got himself 1.
Yes.
He may not ever go back. It's just how it works. Once quarterbacks start commanding top dollar, once players start getting older, that's how it works. I think Dak's best chance of winning a Super Bowl is behind him. His best chance of winning a Super Bowl was when Tyron Smith was young and healthy. Was when Martin was young and healthy. Was when Frederick was still in the league. Was when Zeke could still go get it. Was when Dez was still out there, Dez Bryant.
Look at all of that cap money on one position, offensive line, interior line. Like, you can almost have an abundance of riches that don't really maximize or materialize on the field. Like, look at all we got. And it's like, but we need to spread this out. They had Ezekiel Elliott. You're right. But Ezekiel Elliott in the playoffs, I remember him coming against the Rams.
Yeah, I think 18
20
carries,
42 yards. Like, I don't want to hear your name. Names don't win games. It's how you play. And that's why Cooper Kupp, who was kind of stuck at the middle of the pack with Robert Woods, Forget the name. Show me the game. Now Cooper Kupp can't go wrong. I think that's what's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. Somebody's going to say, I'm Cooper Kupp. Y'all have me graded here? I'm actually up here.
I think, but here's the dilemma. The best days for the Dallas Cowboys offense are behind Dak Prescott. Reason being, they weren't putting that much salary into them cats I named. They were all drafted, and the Cowboys hit.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith, first-round pick. Zach Martin, first-round pick. Travis Frederick, if I'm not mistaken, first-round pick. It's not like the Cowboys were expending a ton of bread on them cats at the time. Tyron Smith ended up getting a $100 million deal after extensions. But Tyron Smith was drafted 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like, they just hit. For Dak Prescott to have a better offense now or any time in the future, Cowboys can't afford to miss. You better hope that right tackle you drafted in the first round is a hit. CeeDee Lamb, he better be who you expect him to be. You have to hit on every draft pick like you did then, but they haven't shown a propensity to do that lately. Leighton Vander Esch, first-round pick. Taco Charlton, first-round pick.
Don't do that.
Jalen Smith, second-round pick. Like, they haven't shown a propensity to hit on these picks like they was back in 2011, 12, 13, and 14.
Well, can we both just agree on this? It can go so many different ways. Like, the Cincinnati Bengals were in the Super Bowl. Huh? How did that happen? There have been great quarterbacks. There are great quarterbacks right now. Never sniffed the Super Bowl. Didn't get there. Josh Allen has not been in the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert, not even in the playoffs. And these are top 10 guys, top 5 guys. So Dak is in that category. Hasn't been to the Super Bowl. Not yet. Then there's guys who got there and lost. Joe Burrow, we talking about. Then there's guys who've been there and won. But now it's looking like, are the chances for you getting back Patrick Mahomes as great in future as they are in the past? So wherever you put Dak Prescott, it seems like he's in the same conversation as all the great current quarterbacks.
But so here's the issue with that conversation. Wherever you go, there you are.
There you are.
Think about it. Mahomes didn't squander his opportunity. Mahomes has lost to Honey Badger because of money. Mahomes has lost Tyreek Hill because of money. So at the point in which Mahomes had his best roster, he went to 2 Super Bowls, he won 1. Russell Wilson had his best roster, went to 2 Super Bowls, he won 1. Ben Roethlisberger, when he had his best roster, he went to his Super Bowls and he won them. Ben Roethlisberger did not go back to a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, I believe after the age of 26, and he played until 38, but he didn't squander his opportunity. Dak Prescott, I don't think, is falling in line with all the other guys because the other greats, they capitalize on their opportunity. Herbert, still yet to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, the current greats, it's a whole different conversation. Herbert, Allen, like, are these guys ever going to merge through and get there? Like, I know it's crowded at the top right now, and Patrick Mahomes, you can say what you want. Is it brighter in the future or is it brighter in the past? Right now, in resume and production, it looks like the past is going to be brighter, like you said about Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, et cetera. All I'm saying is this is the #1 offense, and they had hurdles placed in their way by themselves before we talk about the opponents. Hopefully, Dallas Cowboys could fix this and figure this out. If not, expect a tweet from Drew Pearson.